Good morning, everyone. We're about to get started, so if you can please take your seats. I know everyone's still getting coffees and pastries, but let's go ahead, get started. We have a great day in store for you today. So we'll be presenting 15 startups from our new materials and packaging program here that we're very excited to have. They've been part of our 3-month accelerator program, and now we're kind of seeing them, quote unquote, graduate. Few housekeeping items before we get started. So Wi-Fi is P&P events. There are no password for that. So if you need it, please feel free to go to it right now. If you want to book some one-on-one time with any of the startups that you see today, you can go to the Brella app. It's also on the back of your badge that you have. Book a time with the startups and then meet them upstairs. And so with that, I'd like to bring on our Senior VP of New Materials and Packaging, Food and Beverage, and Sustainability, Omer Gozen, to really kick it off. Omer?
Thank you, Matt. Good morning, everybody. Can I have it louder, please? Great to have all of you here. This is my 6th expo, but it gets better and more exciting every time because we always have something big to announce during our days. So today, we have dedicated our second day of our expo to our new materials and packaging startups, food and beverage, and sustainability technology focus areas. And I'm not sure if you've already seen, there's an announcement in the news, which is going to be official at 3 p.m. on our stage here too, that we're extremely excited about. But right now, the morning portion of it is we're going to dedicate it to new materials and packaging. So as you can see, here is an all-star team here, knowing that 2.5 years ago when I joined Plug and Play, we only had 2 people. Now at least we can count up to almost 10. So, but before we kick off the startups and everything, I would like to get a round of applause for my awesome team here. They've been the ones who's going around and running around the clock to make things happen. Thank you very much. And also, I would like to thank our anchor partners and for their continuous engagement in our programs, ExxonMobil, PepsiCo, Sherwin-Williams, Mohawk, Georgia-Pacific, and DuPont. But most importantly, also our ecosystem partners as well, who are continuously supporting our ecosystem. Okay, so 2.5 years ago, when I joined Plug and Play, the materials platform was based only in Silicon Valley. And one of my goals was to make it a truly global platform. And it's happening. We've laid down the groundwork in 2019, and we have ambitious plans to expand to not only to one, but 4 more other locations with Plug and Play. In Houston, in Paris, in Shanghai, and in Tokyo. Our colleagues, so since now we operate across 15 different countries in 32 different locations, and 90% of these offices were launched in the last 2.5 years. I mean, we have been experiencing a great momentum, but at the same time, we've been seeing startups more and more coming in a space that is hard to raise capital, that has long product development cycles. But the VCs are now recognizing this challenge that the software has reached its peak. Now it is time for us to bring the hard tech to that top. Because as I always say, I always repeat this, but that sophisticated software, if you don't have the hardware to run it on, it won't mean anything. You won't be able to have a complete solution. This is why we're here for it. This is why we're here, why we do what we do. And also, one thing that is really important from us in terms of our startups, so we have 15 world-class startups that we're going to be having on stage pitching their solutions to all of you. They have been in engagements. They've been doing proof of concepts and pilot studies with most of the corporates that are currently in our audience. But one thing that is crucially important is that we rely a lot on our corporate partners in terms of their engagement in the ecosystem. Why? Because as we can see that, we're seeing some partner logos here. One of our partners, DuPont, has been very active in terms of working with the startup and working with our startups in their pitch polishing. Although we have the pitch polishing coaches, they're ultimately trying to get your attention. Our corporates, they're willing to work with them. But in order for them to be able to communicate in the corporate's language, we need your help. That's why we have our focus weeks that we do reverse pitches. I think that's a great venue for us to explore and to get you involved more in the ecosystem. And our community manager, Ali Neeson, she's the one who's been putting together the mentorship program. And our mentors have one-on-one office hours with our startups to bring them up to speed on what's happening, some important information on how startups can leverage their solutions and push innovation, external innovation, through a corporate's complex R&D and business system. And the other one is we're also having, again, we have all of these resources at Plug and Play that is open to our corporate partners. And one of them is, again, a lot of people are at a different phase in their digital transformation journey. There is a reason why you see a stage-agnostic platform at Plug and Play where you can find startups from pre-seed to all the way to the growth stage that we're proud of. And Avery Dennison is one of them as well that, they're helping us a lot with the corporate best practices. The other one, although they're not currently in the audience, but one of our ecosystem partners, the Clorox company, they've been also doing a lot of one-on-one mentoring. So again, this is a win-win-win for all of us, especially for our startups. So again, please help us, be our voluntary mentors, which will be appreciated a lot. The other ones are, we're continuously trying to improve our platform, continuously try to engage our startups, engage our VC partners, engage our corporate partners. And we have a goal of putting together at least 6 meetups a year. So that's one every 2 months that we will have it probably after the days, in the after work hours between 5 and 8 p.m. We're going to select a topic collectively with our corporate partners. And here are a few of the examples that we're always trying to bring out the collaboration between our verticals, our business units at Plug and Play. So one of those meetups that we discussed about how we can incorporate new materials and packaging with our real estate and construction vertical. So this was one of the highlights that, we almost had 100 attendees, even considering that it's after hours. We always have a panel. but most importantly, we have pizza and beer. So come and join us if you're in town. You will be communicated these meetups through our newsletters that goes out monthly by Ali. The other one is, since we have been shifting gears in sustainability, a lot of people are asking us about, so what does sustainability mean? What does impact investment means? So these are two buzzwords, but we're truly putting a meaning to it. So our thought leader in this topic is Matt Clexton, the Director of Sustainability. He recently was promoted from being a Ventures Associate to the Director of Sustainability. So we had a great discussion with some panelists from not only from our industry, but we're trying to bring together people from different backgrounds so that we can truly have a complete discussion covering all points of views. The other one was Water Tech Meetup. And again, this was a great discussion with one of our portfolio companies, Kitos. And it's always fun to understand how we can clean up water, digitize water, and improve water efficiency. Considering that most of our partners have manufacturing plants and they heavily utilize water in their processes. The other one was, which I was honored to be the head of the panel on circular economy in packaging. There's a lot going on. We can give you a summary of all of these meetups, but again, these meetups happen every 6 to 8 weeks at Plug and Play under New Materials and Packaging. Please join us, give your insights, bring your expertise, bring your experience, or most importantly, a different point of view in the discussion. You know the program, that the way that how we construct our accelerator program, especially our due diligence process for selecting startups, is known between the corporates. And we're always proud because in New Materials and Packaging 2.5 years ago, we did not have many growth stage startups. So now that we're able to find them, we're very proud. So this is what a top 100 startup list is. This is the list that twice a year that goes out to our anchor partners. So they're the ones having the voting power on our accelerator programs and selecting the startups into our program. And today, these 15 startups that we'll be pitching were collectively selected by our anchor partners. What I would like to show is that what we're the most proud of is, so our last batch, so the one that is graduating today, had the highest amount of growth stage startups, early in growth stage startups. And we're hopefully push that number up and up. So we're at 82% right now. And considering that what we had in our batch 5, so that was approximately 18 months ago, this is a pretty good jump from a collective of 34 to 82 startups. So a growth stage startup means that they have a product, they're ready to do a proof of concept with you. They're ready to show that they can scale their solutions. So that's what we're thriving for our corporate partners. And of course, we're here. And besides the corporate innovation platform side, we're the most active startup investment firm that is making investments on early stage startups in Valley. So we make roughly around 200 to 250 startup investments a year. And finally, we're starting seeing great startups in the New Materials and Packaging world too. So I'm hopefully in a couple of years, we're going to be competing with FinTech, supply chain, and InsurTech in terms of the investment. So all around this year so far, we have deployed an effective capital of almost $1 billion to our startup investments in materials and packaging. With that said, I know that I've talked enough, so it is our startups to shine. I would like to bring Matt Clexton back on stage to start introducing our startups. So thank you very much for your continued support. We'll see you during the networking hours. Enjoy the show.